Let's talk a little bit about growing iris. The best time iris should be planted or replanted is like July, August, September. After the bloom stalks have died down, you cut those bloom stalks off, and we're going to show you then how to prepare those for replanting. And you can see here that we've done these. We've cut them off, and you'll notice they're a fan shape. And I'm not sure if that's really aesthetic or whatever, but they've always done that for iris. Supposedly, it's when the rain hits them, it comes off the leaves and doesn't go down and hit the rhizome part and rot the rhizome. You can get iris rot to moist conditions, but so I'm not sure if it's just aesthetic or whatever, but that's just how they do it. You need at least a half a day of sun for iris to do well. They like full sun unless it's very, very hot, dry weather. You want to make sure they have good drainage, and they don't like wet feet, so they like to be placed on either a slope or like a raised bed area. And I'll show you how to make a ditch when we replant them so you can understand that. You don't want them planted very deep. You want the rhizome, which is the kind of the bulb area, to be exposed. They like to have their face to the sun, they say. Sometimes you can cover that rhizome with like an inch of soil, and through rain, weather conditions, that soil then will kind of wash off, which is okay. Once they get those little roots established, it's fine to have that soil off the rhizome. You want to plant them generally a foot, 18 inches apart. They will develop little sister rhizomes. The mother plant then dies out, and each year they develop a new rhizome, and they work themselves outward from the base. So you want to plant them far enough apart that you don't have to cut and divide them in less than 3 to 5 years. So that's a little bit about how to grow them. The iris most of that we have here in Coshocton County in this area of Ohio are bearded iris. And there are several different stages of bearded iris. Now the beard I cannot show you now because it's not blooming season, but on the petal you have like a tongue. It's kind of fuzzy that sticks out, that's the beard. And there are several types of bearded iris. We have, according to according to how tall they get. We have tall bearded, which is everything we have in this garden. We have intermediate bearded. We have what we call the border iris, the dwarf bearded iris. And then there are several iris that do not have beards. There are the Siberian iris, the spirea, which is a little iris. Sometimes they have those in baskets and flower arrangements. You'll see those. The Louisiana iris, they like to be very wet feet in bulbs. You'll see those, and sometimes they can be invasive in areas that have a lot of wetlands. You have your Japanese iris, which had the big blossoms on them. So those are the different kind of iris. And next we're going to show you how to divide the tall bearded iris that we have here in the lock gardens. I want to tell you a little bit about the tools we use for dividing iris. I have clippers or scissors to cut the rhizomes and the leaves off, or a knife. This is a garden knife. And when you use these, you should always spray them with Clorox so you don't spread disease from one plant to the other. I spray my tools before I begin and then when I'm finished. And then I also use this Clorox solution. It's a 1 to 5%. I use sometimes 1 to 10, but you use your Clorox to kill those bacteria and things that can spread the disease on the iris rhizomes. I'll begin here by digging an iris rhizome, and you can see that they are not very deep here on this bank because of the soil here in the Lake Park is very, very rich. We have a lot of other things that have kind of grown into them, so I can just put my hand under those roots and lift up. And when I do that, I come up with a clump that looks like this. And you will notice this is the main iris rhizome that it began. And then as it died off, then we have the sister rhizomes on the side. And those we separate and replant. Now this one, it just pulled off itself, which is fine. You'll see these root system here. When I replant this, I take those long roots and just cut them. So I just have the smaller ones And then I also, as I said before, 4 to 6 inches up on the leaves, cut it into a fan shape. That way when I replant it, I will get the nutrients going back into the rhizome instead of into the leaves. Now you'll notice on some of these, you'll have these leaf spots. This is a virus. In the south, it doesn't, it's more of a hindrance than it is here in the north. We usually have cold winters and it kills that virus. You don't have to worry about it. You'll see some of the leaves. And also, part of it is weather conditions. You know, dry, too wet, etc. But like I said, you don't have to really worry. It doesn't harm the rhizome. I'm going to take this rhizome where this shoot comes off and just clip it. So this is a new one that we will plant. This is the old bulb. Sometimes they have little tiny starts on the side. If you plant this, you might get 1 or 2, but it wouldn't be near as healthy as the side roots. This is the bloom stalk, and it has been cut back already, so we just discard that. We'll do another one, getting rid of some of the surrounding plants. And as I pulled this one up, you see it automatically broke off. You can see the old root stock here. Just break that off. Use some type of a tool to cut those off a little. And then it's natural for iris to lose their outer leaves. That's just how they develop and grow. So these here you can just spread down or pull off. If it's kind of tugs hard, I don't strip it from the plant. I just go ahead and cut it because you don't want to bear that too much. So those are a couple rhizomes. Now we'll show you how to, I'm going to cut that back a little here. Now we'll show you how to replant them. When you replant an iris, you want to make sure the area is clear from other roots and so forth. So we'll get rid of some of the sedum here that's in our way. Now, it's best to make they like you to make like a hump. You put the iris on top of that with these back roots going back and these to the side. You take your soil, put up over that, pack it good behind because those back roots are the ones that are going to keep the iris upright. Then I just take my hand and kind of brush that top off a little bit because you want that face part of that rhizome, like I said, facing the sun. They like that to be uncovered. There's like little air nodules in the top of those. It's hard to see on the new plants, but so that's how you basically replant an iris.